Welcome to this playoff preview edition of Poppy Seeds, brought to you by JenelleSews.com. That's right. Hey, everybody, welcome back to our show again. And I'm Dan, and here's Jenelle, John, and we have a new guest over here on the side. It's Mr. Gregg Cummins with us today. Welcome, Gregg.
Thank you. We'll see how this works.
Yeah, I think you're going to have a good time. Janelle, what you got for us this week to start us off?
Well, as he said, it is our playoff edition as we enter the holiday season and playoffs are already underway. Let's talk about a few other things, though. The bowl games have been decided for this season, including at least one team I know of that said, nah, we're not participating because we didn't get into the playoffs. So what do you guys think about the bowl games?
John, go ahead first.
Well, I love how they're just going to take their ball and go home.
That's why I let you go first, because you said it so well the other day when we were talking.
It's amazing how they just decide they can do that. You know, a couple Iowa State, Kansas State, they got out because they got new coaches. Their guys got hired late. You know, Matt Campbell at Iowa State all of a sudden ends up at Penn State.
Right.
And then they hire the Washington State guys. And those were kind of late in that process.
Yeah.
So they got out, but Notre Dame, come on, you had a chance. They were going to end up it sounds like they were supposed to go to the Pop-Tart Bowl and play BYU, which would have been a great matchup. And what a great way to prove yourself that maybe you did belong in there. And now you want to blame the ACC because they pushed for one of their schools to get in, and that's why you didn't want to get in, and that they may have done irreprehensible problems for you, and you'll never now join the ACC for football. You know, I don't know. I've lost respect for Notre Dame football with this move right here, because you're going to bitch and moan and pout and go home.
Yeah.
That just,
I agree.
It's amusing.
Yeah, it's very amusing. Yep. I concur. I mean, they should be a playoff team. Okay, sure, but they're not. Get over it. You know, they can only invite 12. So you didn't make it. Oh, well, you got some new blood in there. You got Tulane in there. You got James Madison. You know, who would, and if you put a bet on James Madison before the season of the college football playoff, you probably would have got 10,000 to 1 odds or something like that, you know? I mean, so good for them. And some new bloods, there's nothing wrong with that. So I don't have a problem with Notre Dame being out. The way they did it is kind of strange, but, you know, like you said, now they're soft like a Pop-Tart.
Yeah, yeah. I really think this shows that not being in a conference as an independent hurt them.
Yeah.
They're not in a conference to prove that we're conference champions. You know, they talk about the fact they're an independent group, and so they choose their own schedule. And so while they played a couple of tough games early and they got beat, but then they played a lot of cupcakes at the end. Oh, we got a 10-game win streak. I think not being in a conference hurt them, and so they need to look at ACC, Big Ten conference for them.
Yeah. Gregg, what do you got?
Yeah, with the TV deals and all that, I can't see Notre Dame joining a conference myself. I think they're just traditionally been independent, and I hope that the whole college football isn't going to become like college basketball. You know, yeah, I'm going to go play over here because they're going to pay me $8 million. You know, I hope it doesn't turn to that, but we'll see.
Although some schools are starting to ask for money back. If they paid a kid and that kid's leaving through the transfer portal, Georgia's got a court case going right now where they say you owe us this much money back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm not surprised.
I had not heard that.
to
Yeah.
me.
So that's going to make it interesting. If Georgia wins that case, I can see that getting written into a lot of contracts. Where if you go to somewhere else, Troy Aikman donated a bunch of money to UCLA for one guy, and that guy's leaving.
Oops.
He says, "I'm done giving money to NIL stuff."
Blame him.
So
Probably the stuff they never thought of when
I'm
all
sure.
that came
Yep.
into being.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
staying in the college ranks, Michigan's had an interesting few seasons since Harbaugh left, the sign stealing scandal, and the latest, the season ended, and we find out their head coach is fired for inappropriate conduct, and then almost the same day arrested.
Mhm.
What do you guys think?
Well, I saw it was something like stalking a female, I don't know, football coach, trainer, somebody associated with the football program. Breaking and entering, I guess I saw today. I didn't read the article what that means.
See, I have
I'll
not
tell
seen
you,
those.
I read it.
You did you? Okay.
I did. So after he got fired, he got pissed off, right?
Uh-huh.
Because because he is married, he's got 3 children.
Yeah.
But now he has this relationship with his staffer. So after he gets fired for the inappropriate relationship with his staffer, he breaks into her apartment and grabs a knife or scissors and threatens to kill himself and say your blood's on your hands and this is all your fault.
Wow.
And so as soon as he got fired, he broke into her apartment.
Wow.
And blamed her.
Jeez.
Wow.
So that's what the article was saying. So that was today. He had his court hearing this morning, $25,000 bail.
I've been a bit busy the last 2 days. I didn't have time to read all this
See,
stuff. That's
I saw he was in court
amazing.
today.
So
Oh my
wow.
yeah, I read that. So that's what happened with Sharon Moore.
Where does Michigan go from here?
Well,
Maybe they should go independent too.
there's
Jeez.
there's talk that they want to bring back somebody that went with Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers, who was not really involved with the scandal. So
Okay.
they're not in a big hurry to get him back, to hire a coach, because they want to wait for the NFL season to be over.
Mm-hmm.
If not, DeBoer, they said out of Alabama is kind of at the top of the list.
Really?
Huh.
Wouldn't that be interesting to see somebody leave Alabama
Right.
for a different program?
Like Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then wasn't there talk that Michigan wanted to maybe get out of the Big Ten anyways in a few years?
Oh,
Did I
yeah.
see something
But
about that?
That's not happening.
I don't think so either, but I saw something about it.
Yeah.
All right. Turning to baseball, the winter meetings were this past week. A few big deals. Let's see. Diaz left the Mets. Pete Alonso's going to Baltimore. Any thoughts on baseball at this point in the offseason?
Well, okay, so the Dodgers got Edwin Diaz. Not a shock. Goes to the Dodgers. No shock. They're going to just buy everybody. It almost didn't work for them last year because a lot of those big name guys they signed last year, Trinan and a few other guys, didn't do all that great and were hurt a good portion of the year.
Yeah.
So, and Diaz is coming off, let's see, he had a full season this year, but the year before he was out all year. How's he going to do in LA? I don't know. It might be too relaxed for him out there, to be honest. I think he thrives in the pressure of New York. And in LA, it might be just too... and
Whatever, man.
he might not be as dominant. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I've been wrong before. To quote Jerry.
and he'll do it again.
They had his brother for a while this year, though. The Dodgers did.
Yeah, that's
Used
true.
to be the closer from Cincinnati. I know he was in their minor league system. I don't know if they cut him or not. Pete Alonso not being with the Mets anymore. I'd be interesting to see if the Mets now go after Bellinger to play first base, or maybe Kyle Tucker.
Tucker would make sense.
So they saved a little money in that realm. So that's interesting. But for him to for him in Baltimore, he'll hit a lot of dingers there.
Yeah.
He should.
In that
yeah.
bandbox,
Well,
should.
when I heard about that on whatever day that was, Wednesday, our vice principal told me that he signed with the Orioles, and I was like, the Orioles? You're kidding me! That came out of nowhere. But I know the Orioles want to spend money. They got money to spend, and they want to spend money to just be competitive again because they had such a bad year this year.
Oh, horrible.
And they need to do something to contend to the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox. So,
Yeah, good
but
luck.
they need pitching. They need pitching.
I
more.
know.
And then they trade Grayson Rodriguez away. So, but did I see too? Ranger Suarez signed with the Braves.
The Braves, yeah.
oh,
Did you? I don't know if you saw that
I
one.
did not.
Yeah,
So
he signed down in Atlanta. I even saw one meme from MLB memes that Mr. Met was going to jump ship too, and they showed him in a Dodger uniform.
who
Figured-
was?
Mr. Met.
mascot.
The mascot.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Real quick before we move on to the NFL, where do you think Kyle Tucker is going to end up? Because he seems to be the big question right now.
Like you said, maybe the Yankees or the Mets, excuse me, might be a good choice. I would bet the Yankees are going to be in on him. I don't think it goes back to Chicago. I could see Toronto signing him. They could use some help in the outfield. The thing about Tucker is he was really good in Houston, and then he got out of Houston, started getting hurt, and you kind of really saw the player he was. In the bandbox in Houston, he was able to hit the lights out of the ball, hit 30 bombs. You put him in Wrigley where the wind's blowing in half the time. Okay, the home runs went down. He was hurt. I don't know. Is he that good?
A lot of it does come down to where these guys, some of these guys play. Because you put them in the bigger stadiums, they can't hit.
Yeah.
Put them in those little bitty band boxes.
Yeah. And he's getting to be about 30 years old now or so. So he's past his prime, baseball prime years. So he might be one of those guys that goes down fast.
Do you think somebody gets him soon or like last minute as spring training's beginning?
I think it'll be a mid-January kind of thing.
Mid-January?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, moving on to the NFL. Phillip Rivers is back in the NFL. The Colts lose Daniel Jones. They need something.
Yeah, their backup got hurt too.
They pull in Phillip Rivers, try him out, passes his physical. What do you think? He's gonna if he starts a game, he's gonna be 44.
I heard he signed on the practice squad, but they can elevate that.
Real
It's
Well,
nice.
they'll probably let him practice as we see what he looks like and then say, all right, let's go.
Yeah. He's been running Shane Steichen's offense at his high school in Louisiana.
Oh boy!
So he knows the offense already.
Okay.
So
And
that's
he's probably throwing a ton to
those kids,
and
right?
all that.
Although they said he hasn't thrown a competitive pass in 5 years.
Jonathan Taylor, get ready for a lot of handoffs.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's not an easy matchup. They're in Seattle.
I
this
know.
week. So that's a tough place. And, so do you go with Phillip Rivers, who may be able to take one or two steps to get out of the way of a pass rush? Or do you go with Riley Leonard, who's hurt a little bit, but younger?
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's
Rodgers was pleased. He's not the oldest player in the NFL now.
Yeah, that's right. So, not by much.
yeah.
But then, of course, if they're playing in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Who knows what the weather's like? It's always crazy there. And
Yeah,
it's
you just
December,
never know.
and I know Washington's been the beginning of that weather that's moving towards Wisconsin, according to my mom. She knows. So maybe they've been getting rain and stuff. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
Seattle, Washington. They always get rain there. So
Except a couple of weeks ago, everybody else had crummy weather, and Seattle had bright sunshine.
I remember that.
Very strange. Staying on the injury front, news yesterday and today out of Pittsburgh. TJ Watt was taken to the hospital from the practice field because of some lung discomfort. Come to find out today, he had surgery, partially collapsed lung. And you read that it was some kind of needle therapy at the team facility.
I took notes on this because I knew I wouldn't be able to remember. So he was doing some dry needling therapy, which is, I'll just read this so I don't mix this
I
up.
already know what it is.
Oh, okay.
Please do.
Well, our audience might not because I didn't know what it was. A treatment that uses a thin needle. Already, you got me off right there. I'm not doing that. To stimulate trigger points in muscles to relieve pain and improve function. So, like what, acupressure, acupuncture kind of thing?
Yeah.
But how do you get a
Puncture a lung? I don't know.
lung?
If they're going in that far with the needle,
Yeah, but they usually don't go in that far. But it's interesting.
Didn't that happen to that quarterback on the Chargers a couple of years ago? Like during the game, they like gave him some injection or something and ended up collapsing his lung. I'm trying to remember what quarterback it was. Like some guy, backup guy, but I'm trying to remember.
I don't know.
That's an injury that you don't normally see.
No.
He goes in for some treatment and they end up with a lung that's collapsed and you got to have
Yeah.
surgery for it. Wow.
well,
too bad.
with their connections to Wisconsin, I hope TJ recovers quickly. So.
Yeah, that was brutal to see today.
All right. Now, as you mentioned at the top of the show, it is playoff time. Playoffs are already underway with last night's game, Atlanta pulling it out over Tampa. And Dan gets a text last night, you butthead, because these two are playing in the first round. So we'll get it more into the playoffs a little bit later in the show. Some general thoughts as the playoffs begin.
I was kind of hoping John was going to be at my concert last night, because then I could have made a comment, because I already made a comment to the audience that my phone would be in my pocket and it might vibrate during the show with updates or anything. As part of my turn your cell phones off during the show thing. But I was hoping you'd be there, because then I could have made a statement like, John, if I can't look at the scores, you can't either. But it was a nice surprise to come home, beginning of the fourth quarter, and I already had 50 points out of those two guys. Mike Evans, wow, 5 catches, 122. I think he even had more than that, but that's the last I saw.
Got beat up a little bit in a couple of those
almost
plays.
Re-cracked that collarbone, it looked like, on one play. But Bijan scored a nice touchdown, and it was a good start for me.
Yeah, 69 points out of 2 guys.
But as we've seen many, many times before.
Yeah, it's not over.
A lot of game to play.
Close. And we'll talk more about that later, of course.
Yeah.
But in general, I'm excited. The Kevin and Quinn matchup, there's no score yet so far, so they got everybody on Sunday. That should be interesting. And the other ones, there's not much scoring that happened at all yet. So
no, outside of the 25 points for the toilet bowl for Baker Mayfield, other than that, everything else was pretty much about where you'd expect it to be.
That was.
Well, hopefully I won't have to split the two of you up later in the show.
Put them up.
We'll see what happens.
Well, if it was Sunday.
If this was Sunday, all bets are off.
Right.
All right. When we return, we're going to do a special Dear Santa segment for our toilet bowl teams before we get into the main matchups. But Dan, this is our last show of the season. And
you had to remind me.
And I believe we still have a little bit to go with Junior.
Junior the Trophy. Hey, it's another time for Where in the World is Junior the Trophy?
Junior the Trophy.
Okay, so we're back with Junior. Final trip for him. You get to see. Maybe I'll win again. We can take him somewhere else this year. That'd be awesome. But let's put up the first shot for us this week. And this one might be difficult to figure out, guys, and that's totally okay. This is in Mesquite, in Nevada, on our way up, and we just happened to stop at a gas station like at 8 in the morning or whatever.
Voluntarily?
To get breakfast.
Okay.
Because remember, we left our Vegas before 7, and to beat
Early
the traffic
start,
or whatever, and we were like, all right, let's start taking some shots. Just put them on the dash. Hey, the sun's shining through that palm tree. Let's put up a shot there.
Wonder he didn't melt.
I know, right?
It wasn't too hot yet. We lucked out.
Yeah,
So.
but anyways, we'll be back in a few moments.
JenelleSews.com has expanded. Yes, thanks to the success of her original dive into the world of crochet, Jenelle has been very busy and has expanded her business. Now she's popping these little buddies out like magic. Sporting a brand new expanded warehouse, JenelleSews.com is your home for all of your crochet and cross-stitch needs. Look at all these fine examples of her expertise in the world of cross-stitch. But that's not all. JenelleSews.com is also your one-stop shop for delicate beadwork, custom projects, and whatever else you can imagine. Taking the time to work on these projects by hand and without the use of small children from foreign countries, she'll make sure your project is done right. JenelleSews.com works tirelessly for you, the customer, and with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, how can you go wrong? Contact us today at JenelleSews.com and we'll get you started with your order. And as a special bonus, your project will be thoroughly tested for its durability by our quality assurance cat, Spicy Bean. Only $49.95 separates you from what very well may be the greatest piece of crochet or cross-stitch in your home. So go to JenelleSews.com today. Allow 8 to 10 weeks per project. Each project will also include cussing, screaming, starting over, and quitting for days at a time. Each project includes a $10 aggravation fee to cover these issues. JenelleSews.com. So what?
All right, we're back. I thought before they get into the main playoffs, we should talk about the toilet bowl teams, the teams that didn't quite get there.
Yeah, why not?
So
Sorry, Greg.
Sorry, Greg. But I thought we'd call this a little Dear Santa.
Hey Santa, 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 hey Santa.
So I've got the 6 toilet bowl teams
Okay.
in the bag. I'm going to randomly pick, and we'll go back and forth.
Okay.
Greg, chime in with your thoughts. Except, well, even on yours, we could even ask you on yours when I pull your name. If you write a letter to Santa, what would you ask for on behalf of the toilet bowl team for next season, or just really have some fun with it?
Okay.
So, who wants to go first?
Whoever. I'm ready with all 6.
Yeah, me too.
All right, John.
Yep.
Why don't you tell us, Dear Santa, on behalf of Justin?
On behalf of Justin. Dear Santa, my season has been up and down, but I was a contender for a long time. If you could please allow my wide receivers to let their quarterbacks have a good day for me for the next 3 weeks, I would really appreciate that. And then if you'd let my own quarterback have good 3 weeks so I could be right at the top of the toilet bowl, I promise I'll be a good boy again next year. Thank you.
Very nice.
Well done.
Well, very
Well
nice.
done.
Greg, as a toilet bowl participant, any thoughts? Or you want to save it for yours?
I didn't make a.
No, that's
That's
okay.
okay.
That's okay.
No worries.
All right. Dan, on behalf of Steve Solano.
Oh, good. It's right here. Dear Santa, this year I thought I was a good boy, but apparently not, as I did not make the playoffs for the first time ever. Next season, will you please send me a quarterback who can stay healthy and a running back that will actually be the main ball carrier on their team? Thanks, Steve.
Very nice.
Very good.
John, up next.
All right.
Dear Santa, for the man to your left, for Greg.
Oh. Dear Santa, please, just a little help is all I need. I needed it a couple weeks ago. I didn't get it, but we're getting close to Christmas. If you could please help Saquon and Genty have the kind of weeks they've been supposed to have in all year and haven't, I'd appreciate that. Also, we know that people don't like the Dallas Cowboys. And Jerry Jones is a bad boy. We get it. But I really need CeeDee Lamb to be healthy for the next 3 weeks. And for George Pickens to still not be interested in what's going on. And then, Santa, one last thing. If you would just allow my defense and kicker to have good matchups, just 3 weeks. It doesn't need to be 4, just 3. I'd have a shot, a real shot to win this toilet bowl, and I really would like, for once, to have a trophy in my house. Thank you.
Greg, do you have any postscript to that? Anything?
I think there's going to be a rebuttal here. Yep.
Yes. My guillotine trophy is still at my house right now from last year. And a third place or second, I don't know, something from at some point. But yeah, I'm destined not to ever win this thing in the history of my life, I think. Maybe after I'm gone,
Then you'll win.
then I'll win. That's it. Somebody else will take my
posthumous
spot.
trophy.
I see.
All right, Dan. Dear Santa, for Scott and BJ.
Oh, okay. Dear Santa. Ugh. You know what, Santa? I don't even know what to ask for this Christmas, because once you go 2-12 on the season, pretty much anything that you bring us will be an improvement. BJ has suggested that maybe we stay at the draft longer than 3 hours for once, but I think that's poppycock. I, for one, have bigger fish to fry, and sometimes I'm hungover, and it's just hard to listen to Dan ramble on and on. I just want to get the heck out of there. So how about this? would you please bring us 200% more wins next year? That amounts to a 6-8 season, and after this year, I'll take it. Or just send whatever, you want that you sent to the Primes, because obviously that clearly worked. Thanks, Scott and BJ.
All right.
Now, before you draw this one, I'm not sure which one I want to do next because I got 2 good ones left. I'm not sure which one I want to do.
All right, John, your third letter for Robin Ed.
Robin Ed. Dear Santa, if I could ride in your sleigh to come home for the playoffs, that'd be great. I miss my dad and I miss the guys. I'd love to see them. So a little Rudolph experience would just be great for me. If you would give me some great quarterback play, it's tough, I know. The quarterbacks are not doing great. And then let my knowledge and experience of this league pay off for 3 weeks. I'd like to be in contention going into the finals of the Toilet Bowl. Hopefully one with running water that I don't have to supply. And Santa, if you would let my wide receivers get healthy and not get hurt 2 plays in and have to sit again, that'd be great. Other than that, Santa, cooler weather would be nice. But a chance to see family and the guys would be even better. Thank you.
Well, man, that leaves one more toilet bowl team. And somehow I just find it fitting
Yes, I do
that
too.
you get to write this one.
All right.
For one Mr. Jerry Palazzolo.
Dear Santa, hello, sir. You know what I like about you? Nothing. I'm just kidding. Santa, I'm starting to get up there in age, and for this Christmas, all I want for next season is a nice playoff run to ride out into the sunset on. Not that I don't mind the toilet bowl, but after 15 appearances in that thing, I really would like more of a challenge for once. But I can't do it on my own because, well, I just can't help myself from cutting players right before they get good again. So how about a playoff appearance and a sharp mind to keep myself in the game this upcoming season? Oh, and by the way, I'll leave you some extra cannolis by the fireplace this year if you can promise either the playoff spot or the sharp mind. I don't really care which. Just surprise me. Your Sicilian friend, Jerry.
And that was Dear Santa.
I think I'm going to post my other letters on the comments so people can read my others. John, if you want to submit yours, you do the same thing. Because I wonder what you have to say about the other 3 and vice versa.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I came up with that.
That was a great idea.
That
That
was
was
good.
fun.
That was fun.
All right,
Nice
before
job.
we go to our next commercial break and get into the serious side.
Oh, Greg, what do you got?
Oh,
No, I didn't.
okay.
I didn't.
Before we get to the serious side of the playoffs,
Oh, this show's serious?
well,
Oh.
sometimes it tries.
Wow.
That's why we're
I
not
do-
doing it again for another 9 months. That's why.
I do have a trivia question for you,
Okay.
and I'm staying in the NFL with this one.
Oh,
A little
Okay.
bit different this time. Assuming Phillip Rivers gets to start for the Colts, and I have a feeling he will. He'll be 44 in however many days. Who was the oldest player to be a starting quarterback in NFL history?
Your guy.
Any thoughts? And I'll do the answer later in the show, but any preliminary thoughts?
Go ahead. It's your guy.
the only guy I can think of, George Blanda.
Okay.
That'd be my guess.
too.
All 3 of you? Okay.
Yeah.
But
I
then
guess-
there's a start. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. So
Blanda
it might be a
came
trick
back and-
question.
Okay. Well, we'll have to find out a little bit later in the show. And before we go to commercial, where's Junior?
All right, put it up. Here we go. I don't know if you guys have been to Vernal, Utah before.
Is that a real city?
It is a real
It
city.
is.
It's small,
Okay.
but it's a real city up by Dinosaur National Monument. And one night we were in Vernal. We stopped at the Vernal Brewing Company and brought the trophy in to dinner with us. And Everything decided, all right, let's take a picture. Then, nobody looked at us strange at all in there.
Not at all.
No.
Sure
But then
not.
we said, well, we better take a picture by the sign outside just to prove that we were here. So there we go.
Nice.
We made sure he didn't have any of the drinks. It was just water for him.
Yep.
Well, that's too bad because I don't think you want him to be your designated driver.
Nope.
It's too short.
All right, we'll be back, folks. So I'm just checking in on you, making sure you're okay. I know you've been sick all week and everything, so I just wanted to maybe tuck you in, see if you need anything. I care about you a lot, so I just wanted to make sure, okay? So
Shut up already. All right, we're back. We're going to take a look at the 8 teams who made the big playoffs this season. We're just going to make our way down the bracket, and we're going to start with Quinn versus Kevin.
all right, well, I'm gonna do a little tail of the tape kind of thing I did last year. You guys can just throw in your 2 cents in every time we talk about it. Let's put
All right.
Quinn versus Kevin up on the screen, and let's start at the quarterbacks. So you got to think here that Quinn is probably going to go with Caleb Williams against Cleveland, although they got that cold weather in Chicago this week. How much passing do you think they're really going to do there?
And I saw it's supposed to be the coldest game ever
Right.
at Soldier Field this
So
weekend.
how much passing do you think they're really going to do there? I don't know. Or does Quinn go with Tua against Pittsburgh? As we mentioned earlier, that's a tough matchup.
Yeah.
So
But
I
it's
don't
in
know.
Pittsburgh, too.
But it is in Pittsburgh.
And they're supposed to have weather.
On the other hand, you got Jaden Daniels playing the Giants or JJ McCarthy against Dallas.
Well,
and that's
Daniel's not playing.
Is he out?
Daniels is hurt again, yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear that he's
Yeah.
out again.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I guess
0.
he'll be McCarthy, and that's a great matchup against the Cowboys because they give up lots of passing, points.
Except for JJ McCarthy. You never know what you're going to
well,
get.
that's true.
Yeah.
But because of that good matchup and the unknowns with Quins, I'm giving the advantage to Kevin at the quarterback position.
Okay.
Now at running back, you got Kevin as Chase Brown, Kyron Williams playing Baltimore and Detroit respectively. Okay, I think those are good matchups for those 2 running backs. Jonathan Taylor against Seattle, we mentioned that earlier. They play Seattle, Indianapolis does. Is Phillips Rivers going to quarterback? Is he going to have to hand off the ball all the time? Is he going to throw off his arm? What are we going to get out of that game? Will the defense just be able to just stack the box so Taylor can't do anything? I think that might happen. So I think Taylor is not a great play this week for Mike Quinn. You got to play him anyways because it's Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a great play. Achane against Pittsburgh, he'll be fine. Could Quinn be better off going with a Charbonnet or even Jalen Wright if Achane is hurt and out? And I
Right.
haven't heard anything from
I
him.
haven't either.
So-
I just know the Red Cross is still by his name.
Right, that's right. So because of those question marks on Quinn, I'm giving Kevin the advantage at running back. So Kevin, you're up 2-0 already. But not at receiver. Sorry. Quinn's receivers just kick your ass. Sorry. That's just the way it is. Even with Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's all pro. But your other 2 guys, Pearsall and Higgins, I mean, you're probably going to go with 3 running backs this week, I would think, Kevin, because of that. And then it just Puka Nakua's too tough. Trey McBride's too tough. George Kittle's too tough. Jacoby Myers has been great.
Yeah,
The last
since
couple
he
of
got
weeks
to
since he went to
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. So
Once he left the Raiders.
They could have Jerry Rice in his prime at the Raiders, and I don't think that would.
right.
It wouldn't really matter.
Yeah.
I don't think, because I watched some games pretty close, and Smith is not who I thought he was.
Yeah. So I give Quinn the advantage at receiver, and it's a big, big margin of victory there. At kicker, I think Kevin has the advantage with Tyler Loop or that Boraglis, however you say his name for New England, whatever it is. However it's not my guy. What do I care? Whichever one he chooses, I think it's a better advantage than Boswell or Riley Patterson from the Dolphins. I think. But Pittsburgh plays Miami, and Quinn's got both defenses. That could be a low-scoring game. I think he can't go wrong with either one of those defenses. I think he's got the advantage as a result. Because Baltimore and Cincinnati could be a shootout. I'm hoping it's a shootout just for my own sake, Lamar Jackson. Thank you very much.
Derrick Henry, Jamar Chase, pay attention.
Listen up.
And then New England Buffalo, that's going to be a shootout likely too. So I think Quinn has a big advantage there. So we'll keep the prediction of who's going to win this game till later in the show, but I've got it fairly even. Just
Well, what about Taylor? And if Rivers does quarterback, what is the quarterback's easiest throw? Those little flat routes, screens. But they'll be really keying on, hey, cover the flats, watch the screens.
Yeah.
But Taylor could get a bunch of short receptions.
And with the Colts too, they're still probably trying to mentally deal with Jones going down because they had such a great season going. Are they mentally going to be prepared for not having Jones and not knowing where they're going with their quarterbacks? Is that going to have an effect, or are they going to be professional enough that they're going to go out there and just somehow make it work?
well, Michael Pittman's a really good receiver, and
But Pierce is the guy that's been catching all the balls there.
Nice, Gregg. Good pickup.
So, just you can't help but wonder what the mental aspect of that is with Jones going down with the seasons they've been having. That's devastating for
I
them.
think they come back and they like, hey, I'm going to have to play 150% instead of 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Or is somebody going to try to do too much to
and
make
that's
up for
that's
it?
the issue.
And then all of a sudden somebody else goes down.
Yeah.
And then their season's over. If they lose one of those big targets, they're done.
Considering where Daniel Jones was last year at this time.
Yeah.
He had a great year.
He had an awesome year going.
It's unfortunate that he had such a good season to come short because of two big injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they could also be full of confidence. They've got an experienced quarterback
That wanted to come out of retirement to
and
play for
them. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that
right?
mental aspect of the game is going to be huge for them. That could be a fun game to watch on
And
Sunday.
Rivers is super competitive.
He is.
He always
He
was.
is. Who do the Colts play?
Seattle.
Seattle. That's right. Okay. All right. The other half of the bracket, the top half of the bracket, is Steve and Matt versus John and Roland, who made that huge jump last week.
But they made a huge jump over the last 4 weeks. They were kind of half buried in the toilet bowl.
Yeah, this is going to be a great matchup.
Yes,
I love this matchup.
John, go ahead. You go first.
Well, you know what? For Steve and Matt, I talked about the fact that they've gotten great seasons out of Drake May and George Pickens.
Mm-hmm.
And Bucky Irving's back. He didn't have a horrible night last night. He put up 18 or 19 points for them. The question for them is, can they get consistent production out of their people? And then John and Roland, been the second hottest team in the league, I think.
Yeah.
But can they really expect Josh Allen to continue to perform at that level week in, week out? Josh Allen's been unbelievable the last few weeks. 6 touchdowns one game, and he's just been doing that. But
they're basically fighting for that, not just a playoff spot, but the division title is basically going to be decided on Sunday between those two teams. So,
and then I love their pickup of Blake Corum.
Yeah.
At that second running back position, he's been doing great things. And so they played Detroit this week, I think. And so Corum could really be pretty good again.
Well, he's getting half the snaps.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's been almost a 50-50 split with him and Kyron Williams.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if it takes one to the house again.
Right. Yeah. And so I'll talk about other things when we get to the prediction part of it, but those are things that I just made notes of for this matchup.
I have John and Roland at advantage for quarterback because Allen or Stafford. I mean, they're two top MVP candidates on the same team.
Yeah.
That's hard to do. I mean, not that May has had a bad year or anything. He hasn't. He's been really good, and Brissett's been good.
He put up great numbers since he started in Arizona.
He has. Yep. I think Steve and Matt have the full advantage at running back with Jacobs, Dowdle, Cook, and like you said, Bucky Irving. The thing there is 4 really good guys. Somebody's got to sit.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to sit, and which one's it going to be? Are they going to, and Bucky Irving, he was in the lineup, so is he going to take 2 of the other guys or just one of them and go with the receivers? Because, like, you got to think Pickens is going to be in the lineup, but who else from Steve and Matt? And that's why I give John and Roland the receiver advantage with Nico Collins and A.J. Brown. Kicker, come on, it's Brandon Aubrey. There's no argument.
Yeah, no.
There's no argument. Sir. Kaimi Fairbairn's had a great year, but not Brandon Aubrey's season. Nope. But then Steve and Matt, I think Houston, Kansas City, they're 2 defense matchups. Again, I got to think he'll take Houston against Arizona.
I would think.
I would think so. Yep.
You're playing Arizona or Raiders.
Yeah. So again, there's no true advantage as the check marks are all over the pages. You can see who's going to win this one. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, but I agree. I think it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah.
Really good match.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and cover the other two matchups in our next segment. But where's Junior?
Where is Junior now? Well, okay, this is a location we were at last week. Let's put her up. But this is a better shot. Last week, John, last month, I should say, we were at the Estes Park Stanley Hotel in the bar restaurant where they shot that Dumb and Dumber scene, the whiskey bar. And I decided to plop that sucker right on the bar, right there, and just take a nice old shot with it. And the bartender didn't mind or anything.
It helped they weren't busy yet.
Well, that's true. But still.
We were early.
Oh, look, there's Jim Carrey in the mirror.
Hey, look at that. All right. Hey, anyways, we'll be back for look at the next two.
The other two
All right,
matchups.
next two matchups. See you then.
Warning, warning, warning. 73% of Americans are not as cool as they think they are. That's why Glaxo Wellcome developed Smoothenol, the name brand for the medication flugamonium sulfate. Taking 8 tablets of Smoothenol each morning can increase your hipness up to 3%. Some members of the test group experienced numerous side effects, including uncontrollable bowel movements, extreme hair loss in women, and enlargement of the ears. Smoothenol is for people who think they might not be as cool as they used to be. A doctor's prescription is required, and Smoothenol should not be taken by women who are pregnant, who might be pregnant, or who might know someone who is pregnant. Smoothenol. It helps you get your jive back.
Good luck this week. Damn. Alright, finally got this week's message sent out. Send, you bugger. Thank God. Alright, I can go to bed now. Well, maybe not yet. Whew. Alright. Boy. I missed you guys. What? What?
All right, we're back. We've got two matchups down, 2 to go. Next up, Damon and Brooke versus the Perrines. Aren't they a worst to first scenario here?
Well, almost.
Potentially.
First. They could. Let's take a look. Quarterback should be interesting because we got a matchup of Patrick Mahomes versus Jalen Hurts, essentially. Super Bowl quarterbacks from last year. Mahomes plays the Chargers. Jalen Hurts plays the Raiders. Greg, how's he going to do?
He's going to do fantastic. Except for, hopefully, Barkley just runs all over the place and he throws for 100 yards because Barkley has 250. That's what I'm hoping.
But I'm still giving Brian's the advantage at quarterback because they're playing the Raiders.
But Hurts hasn't played very well lately.
No.
Yeah, he's been.
But
They're
I get it.
You play the Raiders.
Yep.
Yeah,
Could
sorry.
be the boost he needs.
Mike and Mike also get the advantage at running back just because of Christian McCaffrey. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And Tony Pollard's been hot the last 2 weeks, and maybe he'll keep that going against the 49ers. I don't
Did
know.
you see our website, the points predicted for McCaffrey?
I have not.
I don't remember seeing any, because it's different. What we score
Right.
and what they
Oh, sure.
like, I want to say like 29.3 or something, 29.
Which is
Almost
high
30
on that
points
website.
In our, that's,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he should get 50 something in our scoring.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
It should be a thing.
Yeah. Damon and is Aaron Jones is the Viking guy. Aaron Jones even going to play?
Nah, if he is, it's not going to be very much. You're gonna
See,
a
that's
lot
what
of
I was
Jordan
thinking
Mason.
too, and that's why I got to give Mike the advantage, just because of McCaffrey. And the rest of the running backs are a hodgepodge of guys, but McCaffrey's it. At receiver though, Damon and Brooke, you've got that easily with Warren, Jake Ferguson, and Ibuka, who put up about 18 last night, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And T. Higgins, if he stops hitting his head on the turf.
Yeah, I don't know if I've heard if he's going to be in or out because he had another concussion. He's back in protocol again.
I thought there was
Did they say he was going to be out?
it just said he's, what was it, limited or non-participation or
In
something.
practice,
Okay.
yeah.
Which
Yeah.
half the time
doesn't mean he's out, but
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but I got to think Tyler Warren could have a good game with Phillip Rivers having to throw the ball to him as a release, cutting across the middle there. He might be a good for 10 catches, this weekend. I don't know. On Mike's side, Drake London, he was out, right?
He didn't play.
So Zay Flowers plays the Bengals. Well, maybe this will be the week he does something because he hasn't done much, really.
Well, he's got to catch the ball first.
That's true.
Instead of just letting it touch his hands and then it's like hot potato. No.
Yeah.
And then Kelsey, coming off a one-catch game. So Damon and Brooke have the advantage at receivers to me. Kicker, I think I'm going to go with Rhines again. Zane Gonzalez or Jake Bates. I'm not sure if he played Gonzalez last night. I think he went with Bates, I would think.
I think so.
But even though Will Lutz has been really good for Denver, but just not as good as last year. And then I have no idea who the Saints' new kicker is going to be because they put that Charlie Smith guy back on the practice squad.
Oh.
So I don't know who the kicker is going to be. So Pryans have the advantage there. I'm giving Damon and Brooke the advantage at defense, though, because I'm pretty sure they'll take Denver against the Packers. Probably going to be a low-scoring game, I would think, because it's supposed to be cold as heck up in Denver as well. So, we'll just have to see where we go with this in the prediction segment. But the check marks are, again, all over the board. No clear winner on this.
For Mike and Mike, we talked about earlier, Hurts' quarterback play's kind of been on the decline. They can ride their running backs to victory. It wouldn't surprise me if they put a third running back in at that flex position.
Judkins against Chicago, because they might have to run all day.
Yeah, and he's had a great rookie year.
Yeah,
considering how late he signed. And so for Damon and Brooke, their momentum's going the wrong way.
It is.
Which is scary. So we'll just put a different question here. In a playoff world that we're in now, do you want to play that guy that has just been there all year in that spot? Do you want to play the guy that all of a sudden has gotten hot, has worked their way into the position? What kind of team are you hoping to face?
Yeah.
I like consistency because depending on the ups and downs, the downs seem to overtake the ups, it seems.
I'm a momentum guy, so yeah, I think I want to stay with a consistent person because Damon and Brooke and a few other teams, they're John and Roland, they're riding that roller coaster up right now.
Yeah,
Damon and Brooke are going the other direction. Will it last? Either one of those two teams? I don't know.
Yeah,
we're gonna see.
And that's the thing about momentum; you never know when it's going to swing.
Did you look at the latest power rankings?
No,
I did not.
I didn't either.
They had yours truly at number 4, up from number 12. I'm like, I didn't make the playoffs.
Way to go.
Well, I've won, but I beat Kevin by, he got the worst score. I got the second worst score, but I happened to be playing him, and I won when I needed 200 to even think about making the play. And then last week, luckily Barkley had that 52-yard
touchdown
rush
that was vintage.
Almost
Barkley.
got me
It was
200.
nice to see.
But yeah, and I'm like, man, that AI's got a screw loose. I think is what the bottom line is.
All right.
I guess we won't be renewing with CBS next year.
No, I like it actually.
All right. Well, they've talked about Quinn versus Kevin, Steve and Matt versus John and Roland, Damon and Brooke versus Perrines. There's one matchup left.
Dun, dun,
Gentlemen.
Gentlemen, again, there's that statement.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at John versus Dan. Big matchup. All right. Look at quarterbacks, John. All right, you got Justin Herbert probably going, right? Or are you going to go with Stroud against
I like Stroud against Arizona.
Okay. Tell me why.
Because it's Arizona. They're horrible. And Justin still has the broken hand, and they're in Kansas City.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take Lamar Jackson.
Of course.
And because that's a toss-up. I'm giving Lamar a slight bump just because they play the Bengals.
Well, and he's starting to run again.
And he is. Slowly, he's working that hamstrings back into health slowly. And I'm just going to give him the slight advantage.
Didn't our website say Bengals defense was 32nd?
Oh, yeah, they're the worst ones.
And so,
By far.
Yep.
I paid a whole quarter for them and they weren't worth a quarter. All right, so then receivers and running backs, John. I have no winner. It is dead heat for me. Your running backs, mine running backs, they're both great. Your receivers, my receivers. There's no clear winner.
It's just having to pick the right one.
It is.
It really is.
It really is. I could not choose a winner. That is just, I'll put check marks for both of them, for both of us.
Yep.
Because I don't know who to pick, who has the advantage there. I really don't. You have the clear advantage at kicker, though, with Cameron Dicker. You do. Yeah. Unless McPherson goes nuts and kicks 6 field goals again like he did a couple weeks ago. I don't see that happening again.
Well, Dicker was nice enough to help me win last week.
I know, right?
In overtime.
In overtime, yep. And I suppose I could go with Blake Group, who got called up to Indianapolis, because maybe they'll just get into field goal range and then have to kick. But I don't think I'm going to do that. But still, you can't go wrong with Dicker, and that's a great advantage. And I got you Chargers against the, assuming you're going with the Chargers. Maybe you'll go Green Bay. I don't know. Because, again, I think that might be a low-scoring game.
Well, in the research I've done so far, I'll say that Green Bay is the better option over the Chargers this week.
Regardless, I think you have the advantage there, because Indianapolis has been giving up more and more points each week, and then Cincinnati, well, there's no way in hell I'm playing them. So, so again, another on the scoreboard, it's pretty even.
Yeah.
Greg, anything you want to throw in? Since you tell us, it's
I
us.
think John's wide receivers that they're really all wide receivers, quarterback play. Are these guys going to play injured? Is Chase going to get his? But he's what's his name over there at Cincinnati?
Burrow.
He's looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has.
Then he made some mistakes.
He threw a lot to Higgins last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if Higgins doesn't play, that can change that.
That could help you out.
Yeah.
See, what I'm hearing is that Sunday watching football, it's not going to be quiet.
Well, you already got a glimpse of that just in the fourth quarter last night. I didn't get home until the fourth quarter started last night, and I was already yelling and screaming at the TV just for those 15 minutes.
It's not going to be pleasant this weekend. I'm going to predict that now.
So things I had. One of the things that worries me the most is in the past when Jamar Gibbs has had a huge game. The next game, Detroit seems like they're trying to make it up to David Montgomery. Mm-hmm. So it's less time for Gibbs and more times for Montgomery. So that worries me a little bit. My matchups, as far as players go, are tough this week. They're at places, at Kansas City, at Denver. Those are tough. Those can be tough places to play, and the weather can play that. For you, like I said, Lamar's looking healthier. Hampton is back. You never know what you're going to get out of Jameson. If you're
might not even be in my lineup. I don't know.
Yeah, but he wasn't in your lineup today.
But then I also put down here. I mean, if you're going to be the champ, you got to beat the champ, and that's you. Dan knows his stuff. He's the 5-time champion, and in my opinion, I don't think anybody does more research than you. You're more prepared than anybody else in this league on a week-to-week basis. So you're going to get the most out of your guys, and I've just got to hope.
You were telling me the other day you didn't want this matchup.
I know this is a tough matchup. I think it's going to be a close game. We'll know by Sunday.
We will.
We don't have to wait till Monday night. There's nothing to worry about there. So and as good as you got 6, like you said, you got 69 points last night already, and that's just out of 2 guys. Yeah. So I'm going to need some help. I'm going to need a couple of your guys to underperform and my guys to perform.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But 69 points, we've seen that before. You get a good start, and then you get like 83 the rest of the weekend. So,
well, I worry about how about Breece Hall? He was on the injury thing.
He's got an injury designation.
And so I kind of wonder about that. And Hampton sharing time with Vidal.
Here's the thing about that,
though. I don't know about that.
Vidal still looked good, but every time Hampton touched the ball the other night or the other day, whatever game it was, he looked really good. And I think he was on a pitch count. I think he was on a snap count just for his first game back. I think this week might be there's all right, let him go.
Yeah.
And Vidal's been in every other game. Big, bad, big, bad, big, bad. That would be this week. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get to their predictions here in just a little bit. But when we return, I'm going to put Gregg on the hot seat.
Uh-oh. Have fun, Greg.
Good thing you wore shorts.
As we go to break, though.
That's because it's nice in Arizona in December.
That's true.
Yeah.
Where's Junior?
Where is Junior this year? This time, I should say. All right, let's put the picture up.
Let's see Junior.
All right. Well, this time around, now we've been at this location too. This is back when we were at the big bridge again. Where's that again?
Royal Gorge.
Royal Gorge Bridge. And Junior decided to climb up on top of the walkway there and look down, and he was considering jumping. I had to grab him at the last minute. But I thought it was apropos to see how high we really were up there. It's kind of scary.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Highest suspension bridge in
Something
the
like
Something
that.
like that.
country
Yeah.
or in the world or something.
Something like
Yep.
that.
But it's only for walking now.
Yeah, it's no cars on it. It used to be, but not anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a nice looking shot. So it's
Yeah.
like, all right, here we go. All right, so predictions coming up. Back after this.
Every owner in the KFFL prepares for the draft differently. Some do it at work. Some do it at play. And some burn the midnight oil. Sometimes there's conflict.
Okay, who would you want this? Russell Wilson. He's never let us down. Look at the Russell Wilson. He's got the.
And some let it come to them naturally.
It changed everything we thought he was going to do because it was like, we are not.
Some try a bit too hard.
Yes.
Some hardly try. Some go with their gut. And some come unprepared.
Should have bet this race today, you're right.
And then there's some that go to the extreme.
Alright, not that one. Let's go for Alvin Kamara. So is that a yes on Alvin Kamara?
We're going to take a quick time out from all of the discussion and wishful thinking of playoff time. I've got Gregg on the hot seat, and I will start by saying, Gregg, I've known you and your wife Patty since I've been in Kingman, so over 30 years we've known each other. But how well do I know you? Let's see. Ooh. In theory, your answers are one word, but feel free to expound, add details. I might throw in some extra questions along the way.
You
but
might be sorry for that.
I have a series of questions for you. Number one, what is your favorite sport?
Football.
Football?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I wish I didn't play it when I was a child because of artificial limbs and stuff, but
The wear and tear of the game, yeah.
Yeah, I probably would.
All right.
I would make it.
I know I've heard you mention a lot of different football players during our various gatherings. Who is your favorite athlete of all time?
Ooh.
If you could pick one. I know sometimes that's a tough ask.
You know, I really loved Cliff Branch.
Okay.
You know, Hall of Famer. Of course, with the Raiders, they try to give them in the Hall of Fame after they're dead. So why do you do that?
It's a little odd, yeah.
And like any sport or
well, just
I was a big Larry Nance fan.
Okay.
For some, I don't know.
Okay.
And I'd say my favorite baseball player would have to be Luis Gonzalez, I would say. And, well, I take that back. As a child, wherever Reggie Jackson played was my favorite team.
Okay.
You know, so I was a Yankees fan. You know, it's kind of nice being the world champion.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, understandable. Now, I know you worked for Game and Fish for a long time. How long did you work for Game and Fish?
I worked for Game and Fish for 14 years.
Okay. What was your favorite part about working for Game and Fish?
Oh, it's the field work.
The field work?
Canoeing down the Verde, and
Ooh.
you know, it's hard work, but it was
Uh-huh.
it's real. I got to see some. I grew up in Arizona. Well, I was born in Iowa, but I moved here when I was 5. I had my 6th birthday down at the train park, you know, and at the peppermint shop.
Uh-huh.
You know, it was my 6th birthday. That was an ice cream shop that was downtown, and but I've got to see some country that I didn't realize Arizona had. You know, repairing areas out in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
But
All right. I know the guys over the year have given you some grief about your team and your love of Raiders and Cardinals players.
What are you talking about?
It doesn't sound like us at all.
If you could redo your draft for this current season, what would you do differently? Would you do anything differently? And if so, what would you do differently if you could redraft?
I wouldn't base what I wanted to. I wanted Ginty because I thought he was good, and I just liked the fact of the Raiders having someone that could run the ball. But I wouldn't have thought Geno Smith was, you know, he threw for 4,000 something yards last year. I thought, hey, Pete Carroll, they kind of like to throw the ball down the field and whatnot, even though he's a defensive guy mostly. But by picking Geno, then I got some wide receivers for 25 cents, even though I left $19 on the table or whatever. I wouldn't have picked all those Raiders. And Ginty ended up being a bad deal for me too.
Okay. So when he picks a bunch of Raiders next year, you can replay this segment for
Stop
him.
me. Yeah.
You got
Knock some sense into me.
All right.
Get physical.
What is your favorite color?
My favorite color? You know what? I might be like purple.
Interesting.
Like the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, there you go. Now, I've done this to some of the other people I've had in the hot seat. Everybody has a guilty pleasure, whether they'll admit it or not. What is your guilty pleasure? Something you absolutely love to eat, love to do, love to watch, that you might not readily admit to someone.
I heard that.
I hope the viewers
I
did.
would say. I think I heard that. I love sugary stuff.
Sugary
I wish
stuff?
I was like allergic to sugar. And then that would help me, you know, like deathly ill.
help you to
I
say
probably
no.
wouldn't eat it as much.
Okay.
And chocolate. Love chocolate.
Mm-hmm. Can't go wrong with chocolate. Well, that being said, what is one food, maybe a different food, that you cannot live without? You just gotta have it. Besides the sugar.
I love a good steak. I like meat.
Meat? Okay.
I like meat.
Nothing wrong with
but
that.
I do like greens and stuff too, so I
get that balance. Good for you. How long have you been retired now?
Golly, you had the really hard questions.
Mm-hmm.
I think like I'm going on 5 years.
Okay.
5 years, I think.
At this point, what's your favorite thing about being retired?
Well, I can do whatever I want. I could sleep in if I could,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems like I wake up at 6 o'clock or 5:30 or whatever, no matter what.
Yeah, I'm going through the same thing. Yeah.
And you know, just kind of being on my own schedule, I guess. We travel a lot now that Patty is retired fully. We're gonna do
a little more freedom.
We're gonna do some more trips.
And you've talked about going up to Vernal.
Yes.
Because you've talked to us about
we
that.
Almost went just this last trip.
Okay. And final question for you. If you could do anything within the bounds of moral and ethics and all of that, if you could do anything, what would it be?
Like a personal thing?
Something on your bucket list, a place you really want to visit, something you've never done that you want to try once. What would you do if you could do it?
It wouldn't be skydiving, that's for sure. I would. A friend of mine lives in New Zealand. I would like to go to New Zealand.
Ooh,
I think.
okay.
So that would be, and we would have, and he is a expert diver person. So I don't think, for one, I don't look good in a wetsuit, but just going under the water like that, it freaked me out. I wouldn't do that, but I like looking at the pictures.
Well, I was going to say New Zealand, Australia, you're Great White Territory, but you're also the Great Barrier Reef.
He does all that.
Does he?
Done Truck Lagoon.
Oh man.
4 or 5 times. I don't know, some outrageous number of times.
That would be fun.
That's what he did for a living. I met him at an electrofishing class in Phoenix, but he came all the way from New Zealand to teach him how to do it. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool. It's an interesting way to meet people from other places.
Howdy, mate. Warwick, if you see this.
Well, guys, what do you
Warwick,
think?
Howry.
Well, all I know is I don't want to see those wetsuit photos of Greg. So
I don't look good in a wetsuit.
But
when we come.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, Greg wants to go over there and over to New Zealand. You know, Janelle's really interested in going to Australia sometime, but she says she's not sure she can handle the flight.
Having flown to New York, that was pushing it for me. So I don't know if I'll ever make it.
We
over
flew
there.
to Europe, and that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is 12 hours or
That's a long
13.
time.
Mm-hmm.
And Australia's even probably a skosh bit further.
All
That's
right.
how you go.
Well, when we come back, it's playoff prediction time. But Dan?
Yeah,
Where's
well,
Junior?
let's put up the next set of pictures. And this is during the sandstorm, after the golden hour had already passed. And Jenelle decided to strike up a conversation with Junior. So as you just, well, let's put the next one up. And here, Junior got her attention. And then as we go to the next one, here's Jenelle actually starting to answer Junior.
Oh, Junior's moving.
Yep. It was at this point we knew it was time to go home. When Janelle started to talk to the trophy, it was time
Little
to...
did I know he was taking pictures.
Yeah, she didn't know I was taking these pictures, so... But, anyways, yeah. We'll be back after this commercial.
All right, it is prediction time. Dan's going to start us off, though, by looking back at some of his preseason thoughts.
Well, yeah, okay. So back at the beginning of the year, of course, I put out a big mega email that probably nobody reads, but that's okay, with tons of predictions, because I did a capsule for every team. I don't know if you remember this, and I had tons of predictions in there. So let's just put up the good first, and we're going to talk about some of these here. Like, John, you and I nailed. I had you ranked number 2, and I had me ranked number 7. Right on the money.
Ow.
Isn't that amazing? Then as you see, I predicted Jonathan Taylor would have a great season. MVP kind of style season for Quinn. Bingo on the money there. Drake May. Big surprise for New England. Yep. Oh, how about Jahmyr Gibbs? $26.25 you paid for him, John. Worth every penny and then some. Easily a $30 player, if not higher, this season.
Yep.
And
next season, I'll just let you know right now.
yeah. You heard it here, folks. Breaking news.
Unless something happens in the offseason, he'll be back.
Yeah. Now let's put up the bad. These ones weren't all that great. Okay, Steve and Matt, we said we're going to be number 1 overall. By a landslide, we said. Based on all the numbers. Okay, they end up being number 4. So it wasn't that bad, but still it wasn't all that close. But also I said Mike Quinn's number 4 was a bit high. Well, he kind of kicked everybody's butt, so it's a little off. I questioned Steve Solano for keeping Baker Mayfield and then spending big on Joe Burrow. Well, I guess that worked out since Burrow was out most of the season.
Yeah.
So I really shouldn't question things. I predicted CJ Stroud would have a big year for you, John. Didn't happen.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
And I said Damon and Brooks running backs were a good stable of horses. Hubbard and all these guys. They weren't.
Some are headed for the glue factory.
I know, right? And then there's the ugly. I predicted Dan's receivers could produce 20 plus touchdowns this year.
What do you got?
I don't think it was even 6. I said Josh Allen would finally run out of his luck and he'd get a big injury. Nope, didn't happen again. Oh, let's see. Jordan Addison, John, for you, is going to have a big season. He's a big sleeper. You finally cut him last week.
Yeah, apparently he's not drinking enough to be good.
I know. And then I stated that Scott and BJ had a much better team than their preseason ranking. And I said they're a 6-1 favorite to go to the playoffs this year. Whoops, not quite.
Sounds like us betting on horses.
I know, right? So I hit some and
missed on a lot.
Missed on a lot.
That's the way it works.
I know. I'd like to do better than that,
All right.
Oh, well.
Earlier, we wrote letters to Santa on behalf of the toilet bowl teams. Anything else you'd like to say about the toilet bowl?
Well, I was just going to put up quickly just some, how I rank each team by position in the toilet bowl. And then we can make a quick prediction of who we think is going to win the toilet bowl. So let's look at quarterbacks first. And on my rankings, I have Rob and Ed had the best 2 quarterbacks in the toilet bowl with Goff and Love. Gregg, I got you 4th with Bryce Young and Sam Darnold. You stole Bryce Young from me a couple weeks ago. I'm kind of ticked about that still, but that's okay. The quarterbacks were tough because they're all actually pretty good. They are.
Yeah.
All 6 teams have a decent quarterback, which is good to see. Now, at running backs, okay, this is hard to choose. I put Steve Solano at number 1 and Gregg, you're right behind him because of Barkley and Janty. But the rest of the running backs is kind of a hodgepodge of guys. There were some glimmers of hope, some big numbers here from a guy here, a guy there, but they're just, you can tell why these teams are in the toilet bowl. No offense to Gregg and Saquon Barkley, but you agree. He had a bad year compared to last year.
Especially Genty.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So I think the running backs, enough said about them. Go to the receivers. Okay. Robin Ed's receivers. You got Devontae Adams and Amon-Ra. Okay, 1-2. That's a good start right there. And then you look at Jerry, who finishes the year with 3 tight ends. No wide receivers on his roster, so I got him at the bottom, unfortunately, there. But again, all the other teams, they have a guy. I mean, Justin Jefferson on Justin's team has had a just down year because of quarterback play, unfortunately.
Now, we say that, and yet he's like 4 or 5 in the league in yardage.
I know.
I don't know how that's happened.
But it's kind of weird.
Yep.
And then kickers and defense. Oh, right, who really cares? But there's a ranking, just so you can see them, everybody.
Greg, Michael Wilson has really come around with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really come around.
Mm-hmm. Will that come about next year, though? Or is this a flash? Is this a Jerry Jeudy flash in the pan kind of thing? And then next year he'll be just back to,
Depends who's quarterback in there.
Yeah, right.
Well, I thought last year Wilson was the best receiver. Better than Harrison by far, but it didn't work out that way because they threw to Harrison. Yeah.
But let's make a toilet bowl prediction. Jenelle, you got a toilet bowl prediction? Why don't you start?
Looking at the 6 teams, I'm going to go with Steve Solano.
Steve Solano for the toilet
Having
bowl.
missed the playoffs this year, I'm going to say Steve's going to win it.
Okay. I'm going to pick Gregg. Gregg is my choice. He came on the show. I'm going to support him and that he's going to win the toilet bowl. So he finally wins a real trophy, not just the guillotine trophy, as John said earlier before. John, who do you got?
I got Robin Ed sneaking past Justin.
Okay.
For the toilet bowl.
All right.
Okay.
Gregg? You backing yourself?
I want to win the toilet bowl, even though that's
You get an awesome t-shirt, though, if you do.
I think, looking at all, I think I have just as good. My team seems to be coming on now, then it's too late. But
yeah, I agree.
I think I have 3 wins in a row or something like that, 2 wins in a row. Which is
you got up to a 6-8 record.
Yeah.
That's great.
Slow start, but finished well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So is it time for the real stuff now?
All right, now it's time to take a look at our bracket
Oh, boy.
predictions.
Whose bracket are we putting up first?
I'll start.
All right, put your bracket up.
All
Let's see
right.
what you got.
All right, starting on the top half of the bracket, I have Quinn advancing to the semifinals. He's had such an incredible season, incredible run, point totals out the window.
Sure.
So I've got him advancing over Kevin, and then I have Steve and Matt beating John and Roland in the first round, but losing to Quinn in the semis. Bottom half, I have Perrines winning their first round match. They've come a long way from last season.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see them maybe sneaking through.
Yeah.
And I know my other pick on the bottom half of the bracket's not going to be popular.
Uh-oh. Somebody's sleeping on the couch tonight, I have a feeling. You might be me. You didn't let me finish.
I have John defeating the defending champ this year. John, I have you beating Perrines to advance to the finals against Quinn and becoming the newest member of the Five Timers Club.
Wow.
Wow. That'd be awesome.
Good luck.
You get to learn the secret knock and everything.
I know.
That's cool.
Okay.
No, it's not.
I knew it would not be popular. Sorry.
Going to me next?
Might as well go around the table.
All right, why not? Hey, so far, we've got something guaranteed. Because last year on this show, the three of us did a bracket, and all of us had the exact same bracket. Remember this?
Yeah.
Yes, everybody, all three of us had
You told me
an
that,
identical bracket. Well, that stops this year because my bracket is definitely different than Janelle's. But I do have Mike Quinn beating Kevin in a close game in the opener. I really do. That's going to be a close game. And Steve and Matt, they're going to beat John and Roland. Another close game. I had all four of them be close in the first round.
Yeah.
It's just too close, I think. I don't think there'll be any blowout. Mike and Mike, going to beat Damon and Brooke. And I have Dan beating John first round. Which leaves a 6-7 matchup in the semifinals. I got it in there, everybody. 6-7. I'm going to be beating Steve and Matt according to my 6-7 matchup there. And I've got Steve and Matt upsetting Quinn.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not playing Steve and Matt.
What did I say?
You said Steve and Matt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mike
and Mike. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yes, I can't read my own handwriting, apparently.
He had the same problem at his concert last
That's okay.
night, so.
Anyway, Steve and Matt are going to upset Mike Quinn. No, I have. I have them going to be an upset, and I have myself repeating as champion and becoming the inaugural member of the Six-Timer Club.
There you go.
Nice.
Okay.
Very good.
We'll see what happens.
All right. So I've got Mike Quinn winning the first round matchup with Kevin. I'm always a little worried because this league seems to have the number one seed has a curse on them. And so that's always good. So it's going to come down to adjustments to lineups. And this game could come down to Monday night.
Yeah.
It really could. But I've got Quinn winning. And then John and Roland with Steve. Steve's matchups are nice. Although John and Roland are the second hottest team in the league right now. A lot of momentum there. John and Roland could use a career day from a couple of guys to help them in this thing. And then how much can John and Roland get from Josh Allen again? I wrote down some things like Quinn was favored by 3 points when the matchups first showed up on the thing,
website,
right?
Yep.
Now that was before people made their adjustments and stuff like that. And Steve and Matt had the biggest favorite. They were favored by 17 when it started. So, and I actually picked Steve to win this. So Quinn winning, Steve winning, and then Damon and Brooke, Mike and Mike. I'd have Mike and Mike picked to win this thing as a big upset in the first round. That's coming down to lineup changes. There's some important numbers from last night that could make a difference in their matchup. But I don't think either one can avoid not paying attention to their lineups this week. They really got to make sure they work on it.
Yeah.
And so I've got Mike and Mike. And Dan, believe it or not, I actually have you predicted to beat me because I just can't predict myself. And especially, even before you got your 69 points last night, I think your matchups are better than mine as far as player matchups go. Your matchups are better. I think it's going to be close.
I do too.
I think it's coming down to those late Sunday afternoon games.
That 69 points is not going to hold up.
No, because I've got a couple guys that can match that if they do that. But I've got you winning that one.
Okay.
And then in the quarterfinal, in the semifinals, I got Quinn beating Steve in that one. Although, man, I feel bad for Quinn because his matchups getting to the finals is tough. That's so tough.
That's why I picked the upset.
Yep. And then Dan, I've got you beating Mike and Mike. And then I got Quinn actually winning the thing. He's had the best team all year.
Yeah.
And if they just stay consistent, people are going to have a career day to beat him.
Yeah, right.
That's just the way it goes. And Achane's got to be healthy.
Yeah.
So, but I've got Quinn winning it all.
All right.
Okay. All right, Greg.
Well, I think ours are very, very similar. I think all the games are going to be close. I have Mike beating Kevin in that first round, that first game. I have Steve and Matt against John and Roland. I took John and Roland. I can't really remember why I thought that.
That's okay.
I think there's residual cloud from me being able to beat Steve and Matt in the end of the season.
Yeah.
That can't be good for anybody.
Yeah.
For them. I actually have Mike and Mike beating Damon and Brooke. And I have, in a close game, Dan winning, beating John. But I'd have to say the 69 points with the two guys kind of took me over the edge on that. In the semifinals, I have Quinn beating John and Roland. And Dan beating Mike and Mike. And I have Quinn beating Dan for the title.
All right. So
Some interesting
All
picks.
four different.
all 4 brackets are
Okay.
different. Yep.
All
3
right.
different champions predicted.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Tells you how good the year was.
I know, right?
Is great.
Yep.
Been some very interesting weeks.
Absolutely.
I think the NFL this whole season was, you couldn't say, oh, they're going to win that game. I can predict that they're going to win the next 3. Absolute. I don't think
Yeah.
anybody's.
No.
Even the teams that have the 10 wins or what. Where did those come from?
Well, Buffalo got it creamed by Miami a few weeks ago, and they were like
Yeah.
top of the, and then they've been down since then. So you never know.
Yeah.
You just never know.
It's been a strange season on many fronts. All right. Before we take our final break, let's go back to the trivia question.
Oh, let's put it up then.
Yep. Philip Rivers, we've talked
Because I
quite a bit-
forgot what it was.
We've talked quite a bit about Philip Rivers returning to the NFL with Daniel Jones going down for the Colts. And if he does start a game at quarterback, he will be 44 in however many days. So my question was, who was the oldest starting quarterback in the NFL? And your initial thoughts earlier in the show, guys, all 3 of you said George Blanda.
So I've been doing some thinking. Can I change?
Yeah, no, that was just your initial. So what do you think?
I'm wondering if it's somebody like Jim Kelly or Warren Moon or something like that, maybe. I don't know. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to say Warren Moon.
I'm going to stick with George Blanda.
I'm going to stick with George.
I don't know if he
Blanda, 'cause
started. I don't
I
remember
want
if
to
he
say he was
started.
46 or something.
All right.
I know he played. I don't know
Well,
if he
here's
started.
the thing with Blanda. He was the oldest player
Right.
to start a game at 48. But I didn't have an exact age. His last start as a quarterback, and I quote from the website, was years before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
he was a backup at Oakland.
So second oldest was Steve DeBerg in 1998, was 44 and 279 days.
I remember that guy.
The oldest starting quarterback in the NFL in 2023, so just 2 years ago, Tom Brady was 45 and 166 days.
Wow.
Brady.
Not hard to
Forget
do.
about
He's
Tom
forgettable.
Brady.
Yeah. Whatever happened to him anyways. I mean,
I don't know. He never looked 45.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, he
So-
was a pretty average quarterback.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
All right. We'll be back to put a wrap on
Interesting.
this month's show and this season. Do we have another picture?
We have another photo. Let's
All
put it
right.
up.
Let's finish with Junior.
Okay, guys, you should know where this is.
Valley.
Monument Valley. That's right. So, little story behind this. You know, this is the mittens, they call them. And usually you go to Monument Valley And at sunset, they call it the golden hour because you get those bright reds, right? And so we were there for that purpose. We stayed at the lodge that's right there, so you get good photos and everything like that. And of course, just as our luck would be, there's a sandstorm that moved in.
Of course.
And so our golden hour turned into a slightly gold but mostly brown hour. This was the same windstorm that took out Las Vegas the next day.
Oh.
Do you remember that? You know, Vegas had this big windstorm knocking power poles and everything down. They had to move. Some flights landed in Bullhead City because they couldn't land in Vegas and everything.
Yeah.
There was still some interesting shots.
Yeah,
and
still got some good shots, but they could have been way better than this.
Not what we were hoping for.
But anyways, it was still fun, and Junior enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah. He had a nice layer of dust.
Yep. He's clean now. We gave him a bath.
Yeah, we cleaned him up.
All right. Wait, we'll be back in a moment.
All right, Dan, you can do this. Just the gala. You're fine. Season's almost over. Get through this night. All right, let's go get him.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the KFFL Gala.
All right, we've reached the Kneeldown for our final show of the season, guys.
Are we being renewed?
Jury's still out on that one, I think.
I think we should do a show after the NFL draft.
Oh, that could be interesting.
Talk about prospects for the coming year. It'll be like a 20-minute show.
Teaser for the new season.
With commercials.
It's been an interesting season on and off the field this year, both in football and just in life.
Yeah.
And I have something to ponder and discuss in the kneel down. I don't this time. Final thoughts.
Greg, let's start with you. So I can think some more.
Yeah, really.
Just kidding.
Pulling rank.
You know, I hope the NFL keeps striving for parity. You know, it sucks when you have 8 good teams and 24 terrible teams. I don't think that's the way it is anymore. I think you still have your Raiders, Cardinals, but I think those are organizational problems with coaching decisions. You know, you're a good high school coach, whatever the deals are with that. You know, I can get you for $1 million. I got to pay the other guy $5 million, so I'm going with you. So I kind of hope that it continues with teams having a chance against every team. I didn't think that was for the first 50 years I watched pro football. Mm-hmm. That wasn't always the case.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there are still some matchups. I know when I go on to do my pick'em, some of the games I get to, and it's like, oh, bad team.
Speaking of pick'em, you've been hot lately. You had that perfect week. You're good, number one the last couple of weeks. You've been hot.
I just pick. And I know a couple of years ago, guys were joking that I was getting information from you. I get nothing from you other than the website you use, which I won't share.
Well, we knew that really because Dan would have been doing a lot better.
He would have been doing, yeah, that's true. And if I'm doing better than him, I call it a win. So,
John, what do you got?
This year is going to be great in the playoffs. There's no clear-cut winner in any matchup. I don't care in any round. I think it can really go to anybody. Mm-hmm. There's no
even Quinn.
Matchups. Even Quinn, even though he's dominated all year, it takes just one injury or one, and there's guys getting hot. John and Roland are hot, so he may have to face them in the second round. And the toilet bowl can be close. I think that's coming down to the last week. I don't think anybody's going to be out in front by a long ways after the first 2 weeks of that. So that'll be fun and exciting things to watch.
I find it interesting that John and Roland got hot again this year. They did last year too.
Yeah.
After I rewatched last year's playoff preview show, and we were saying the exact same thing about them. They were just hot the last 3-4 weeks going into the playoffs.
Consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then my other last thought, I made the prediction about the St. Louis Cardinals baseball squad. Last time. this time I think we are going to see a big change in the structure of coaching contracts for college and pros both, so that teams aren't stuck. If they fire a guy, they're not stuck still having to pay him $50 million, $60 million after they fire him. So I think there's going to be a restructuring of coaching contracts at some point, so teams aren't stuck with that big bill if they have to get rid of a guy.
And there's been some big buyouts this year,
Huge.
too.
Yeah. Brian Kelly was big. That one's still not finished. That's still in the courts. James Franklin was big.
Yep.
They may make the salaries a little bit higher because they could say, okay, we're not paying you, for the next 8 years.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting.
So that wouldn't surprise me.
Okay.
All right.
Commissioner?
Well, I'm going to steal a scene from one of my favorite movies, Three Amigos, when Steve Martin and Chevy Chase and Martin Short are all in the bed together and they're talking about their big dreams about what they're going to do with the money and stuff like that.
A car. A big, shiny, silver car. I'll drive all over Hollywood. Show Flugelman a thing or two. What about you?
New York, maybe Paris. A lot of champagne, parties. Be a big shot for a while. How about you, Ned?
I'm going to start a foundation to help homeless children.
That occurred to me to do that at one point too.
Oh well, I meant that I would do that first, and then I would get a big shiny car.
So Greg did his talk and John did his thing, and I'm going to go with, it's the holiday season, and I think everybody should be in a charitable mood and just love each other and care about everybody and, just keep the holiday spirit going, because that's more important than money or presents or any of that garbage.
So we don't need to send you money?
Nope. But no, really, it's like you said, it's been a very good season once again. And Greg, you make a toilet bowl sometimes, but you've been hot the last few years. You'll be back. You will. Next year, very well could be me going back to a 2-12 kind of season. John, you too. You never know. But that's what makes this league so good. It's so much fun because you never know what you're going to get. You can put all the work into it. Like you mentioned, I put in lots of work. Yep, that's true. And sometimes it doesn't help. And sometimes you can be like somebody else in our league. I'm sure there's somebody who doesn't do anything except go on Sunday morning and make sure their lineup's filled and call it good. And then they win the league title. I love our league. It's a great league. We got good guys. I hope everybody comes back next year. I hope we get more guests on our show next year. We've had Scott. We've now had Greg. I hope some more people are willing to come on and just have a good time. Talk football, talk sports, talk life, talk whatever for an hour or so.
Fishing.
Right. Fishing.
Greg, go for it. Fishing. Tell us.
Hey, now that I'm retired, you can actually take me fishing. I think that'd be okay. I need to get a license, but I think that'd be a lot of fun. Well, yeah, but I think that'd be fun.
What about you, Jenelle? What's yours?
The show has grown. You've become a bit of a monster with this whole
What do you
thing.
mean?
I don't even remember.
What are you talking about?
I don't even remember how you got me to do the show in the first place, but it's definitely become a bigger thing.
Are you saying you're not enjoying it?
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm coming up with some of the segments.
Well, I was trying to get us a new host, Aaron Andrews might be available or something like that.
See what I put up with. But it has been fun. It's been fun coming up with the new segments. We've had the new format being over here at the table, which has been very different, but I've grown to like it being over here.
It's certainly different, John. Great idea. Thank you.
Yeah. So with that, for our special guest, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
And for John and Dan.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Jenelle. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next season.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody.